Hello, Charlene here with Moonlight Gardens, and I wanted to share with you today of how to plant asparagus. There is nothing better than fresh asparagus right from your garden, because by the time you buy it from the store and it hits your dinner table, it could be 3 days old. So fresh out of the garden is absolutely the best. So here are some asparagus roots. There's 25 in a bundle here. So this is an asparagus root. This is the crown, and you can see this will be a spear that's right there, and they're different sizes. It's just the way that they're dug. Some of them have long roots on them. You want to be sure that when you buy asparagus that this is very fleshy again, so that when this is broken into, that it's nice and white and it's fleshy and it's not dried and brown. So that's very important for the source of what your asparagus is going to look like. Okay, first of all, let's talk about location. Asparagus is going to need 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day. So full sun is what it's going to need. Also, a permanent location. Asparagus beds, however you want to plant them, a line, can last up to 15 years. So you want to be sure that not only is it in a permanent location, you want to be sure that you do it right the first time. It's not like planting a tomato. If you mess up this year, you always have next year. Asparagus lasts a long time, so be sure that you get it right the first time. Okay, so first of all, I've dug a trench here. You saw how big this root is. This is the top, and it's going to go like that. So you're going to want your trench to be 8 to 10 inches deep, and you're going to need it pretty wide. So I kind of dug a trench here. And then you take your crowns. This is your asparagus crown, and you're going to lay it down into this trench about a foot apart. So it's going to look like a little spider down in there. So spread these out about a foot apart. We grab another one. We'll plant 3 today. Okay. Now, I have phosphorus is what it's going to need. Phosphorus is good for root initiation. Now, I didn't have any granular phosphorus, but I have this one. The middle number of this one is phosphorus. So it's nitrogen is the first number, phosphorus, and potassium is the third number. So you want the middle number to be high in phosphorus. This happens to be a water-soluble fertilizer. It says blooming and rooting. As long as the analysis of the fertilizer is good, it doesn't have to be for flowers. It could be for whatever you need it for. So I've mixed up a bucket of this, and I'm just going to put this in the hole. Phosphorus needs to be down where the roots are, because it's not very mobile within the soil. So it doesn't want to move up and down like nitrogen does. Phosphorus needs to be down where the roots are. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. We got to fill this up. Cover this up here with some dirt. I didn't fill this all the way up, so you can wait for the spears to come up until they get up above the ground, and then you put some more dirt on it. And you do that 3 different times. Or you can just fill it up to the top. I don't think the asparagus is going to care, so you can do it either way. I'm not sure the advantages of all of them, other than you know that the plant is good and it's coming up. The deeper you plant it, the longer it takes to come up, but the better the plant and the longer the plant will survive. So it may go clear to the 15 years. The shallower you plant it, so if you don't want to dig a very big hole or a very deep hole, it'll come up faster, but the longevity of this root will be sacrificed. So it may not last 15 years. So my advice is dig it deep, and it'll last a long time for you. So cover this up, And then I like to put manure over there. If you have some composted manure, it really likes that, especially in the fall after it's all done. But I like aged straw, so I keep a year ahead of straw. I get my bales, and we sell straw here, but I get my straw out the year before, let it set out all summer so that all the seed wheat that's in these bales will sprout. And then it's aged, and then I cover it up. It'll keep the moisture in. It'll keep weeds it'll suppress your weeds, and you know where it's at. So if you put it around the perimeter of your garden or somewhere, you know that it's right there. Or you could put a stake there, but I like to mulch it. Picking asparagus, you want to probably not pick it at all the first year, because it's going to be very spindly little spears. And it'll get into be a fern about this tall. Leave it there. It puts reserves into the roots. The following year, they'll have little bigger spears. You can pick it till it's about the size of a pencil, and then don't pick it the rest of that year. Let the foliage grow up until the frost gets it in the fall. Then you can cut it down, and I leave a little stem when I take my shears and cut it all off so that I know where they're at. The third year, your spears are going to start getting really big. So when they get bigger, you can continue to pick it for that spring season until, again, the spears get down to the size of a pencil. Then it has no more reserves in that root to sustain itself. Let it grow up into a fern, as it will, and it'll get pretty big, and give it some room until the spears are the size of a pencil. Let it grow up, and that will be all for that season. So I think that's about it that I wanted to cover for asparagus. It is so yummy, so plant some and enjoy some fresh asparagus. It's just the best.